What's up? What's up? What's up, good people? What is going on, good people? It's your boy Random Arts, currently live on X as well as on YouTube. Reason why I decided to go live is due to the fact that Roaring Kitty is back. Roaring Kitty, I repeat, is back. And there's so many speculation as far as to what this could really mean. I'm gonna make a separate video. Raphael, what's going on? Yeah, Roaring Kitty is back, and that's really what's prompting me to actually go live, just to be able to kick it with some people. Whether you're in the stock market or into crypto. I'm gonna be on for about 30 minutes. So make sure you guys do me a huge favor and just share this space. Definitely love to see more people come on here and we kick it. But yeah, there's a lot of speculation though onto what this means. Now, there's one part of this video, from the singing in the background, he mentioned about returning. So could it mean that he is returning? Roar will soar 1,000%. See, that's the thing with Roaring Kitty. Like I always tell people, our biggest KOL is him. You know what I mean? Like, legit, at any given moment, he makes a post and we start seeing volume. It's just gonna start flying. It's just gonna be one of those things where volume is gonna overwhelm the chart, and it's just gonna make more and more people just FOMO into Roaring Kitty. So right now, even redrew a trend line since we made this top right here. And look, it had the bounce and it came right back to a support area. So I've seen a lot of people sell at support. Like, that's not how you trade. You don't sell at support. I mean, if you sell at support, people are just gonna eat up the dip on you. Here's a support line. People are just buying it up. See this wick right here? Because we had a $14,000 clip. And this is one thing too that whales don't understand. Like, look how much volume came in today. Let me see what volume. $32,000, right? And you mean to tell me you're you're almost half the volume. You're legit fighting against yourself. And one thing that most people don't realize within Roaring Kitty contract is it legit forces whales to work for your bag. I'll make a separate video really explaining that. Like, if you're well into Roaring Kitty, like the way that the contract is designed, it is designed for you to work for your bag to really bring volume into it in order for you to not just get out, but being able to get as much gains as possible. Because if you start clipping, clipping at sales, then essentially you're just gonna drop your potential return. Kind of like the one, remember we had this big clip, like, I don't think we remember this, but we had this big clip over here. This is when it was a dormant wallet, just came out of nowhere, and they saw how much they was in, so they just started clipping, boom, 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 nothing but sales. When when it was over here, right? Because at one point they were up maybe I think they were up like maybe like 60 or either 60 or 80,000, like something like that. And because they were well and they just decide that, okay, I'm not going to sell on volume, I'm just going to clip the whole thing, they only end up capturing from that, I think about like 20 something thousand or close to 30. Like clipping a chart, if you're a well, it's the craziest thing. Like, Roar 5,000 bone donation, very close. Yeah, I think we're 13 less than 1,300 bone away from actually meeting that goal. Then we're gonna have one of the Roaring Kitty Well. He's gonna donate 5,000 bones, so that's pretty awesome. GameStop is pumping after hour. I just watched was covering it and Keith Gill sent game. Yeah, I did see that too. And that's the best thing about it. Like when it comes to GameStop, let me get GameStop. Well, I had Unity pulled up. Like Unity's chart to me, it has a whole bunch of overhead resistance. Now, not saying that it can't go, but yeah, this is a lot. Like I hate looking at charts like that has like huge overhead pressure. But if you do in comparison to GameStop or even Chewy, I like Chewy's chart. Yes, it has some overhead, but look how far the overhead is way back in 2021. And like I had drew on the chart prior, this is the weekly chart that we're looking at. We had established the 32 mark was going to be area of resistance. So we had the initial push right here. It got rejected, pushed again, got rejected again. It kind of almost lingered over it for like 2 weeks. Then finally, we just saw that rejection right there. Now, I think one big thing that could push GameStop even higher if Keith Gill comes back on a regular base versus just the boom, I give you one tweet, this month, then I come back the next month. If he's able to do it consistently or even getting back to like the old style as far as like going live, it's going to keep the attention on GameStop because GameStop at the end of the day, it's a meme stock. So anytime when things dealing with meme, even in the crypto market, it needs attention. It's an attention based economy. So it having the attention, the spotlight from CNBC and all these other different, you know, networks talking about it is going to end up bringing more retail back into GameStop. And then we're going to eventually be able to see that Moss right there, but it all starts with Keith Gill. He's essentially the face. I know people talk about Ryan Cohen and all this and that, but Keith Gill, to me, he's essentially the face of GameStop. And also, if Ryan Cohen stop freaking doing offerings, because I know they say they don't anticipate doing it until, for the rest of the fiscal year. But if he starts back again, in late February going into March, then it's going to kind of clip the momentum because this right here is still a pretty good chart because you got to keep in mind this has been going up on an uptrend for what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, essentially 11 weeks. I consider this 11 week straight uptrend. At some point people are going to take profit. At some point there is going to be a pullback. So I like this pullback, and it didn't go far too. You get the pullback and it's right there at a support area that's formed the support area. And to even further, and I'm probably assuming maybe Keith Gill was buying this because look at this wick right here on this candle, right? So that means it is rejecting lower prices. Like people don't want to see this go lower, so they're just buying up the dip. So if it opens tomorrow, what, at 29 ish, 29, I think that's one price that I saw, like around like $29. So if it opens up um $29 ish, then yeah, then that is gonna be right around another resistance area. Roar in bone. This is the time to get our GME Roar pair going to deck school. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. But the thing is, like, it costs like the gas fee. Like, if people want to donate towards the gas fee, it was like $180 just to be able to do the pairing for it. So we could definitely put that on there, and now it will definitely be able to get the the eyeball and the attention or whatnot. Somebody said the kitty. I'm assuming you're talking about kitty on Soul. That's currently up like 15%, 17% now. Yeah, because I mean, look where it's at. It's at a $1 million market cap, like with huge overhead. Like I'm telling you, like when it comes to, because when I was looking at this and I seen like how bad of a rug that they gotten, this is it's gonna need a lot more time to be able to cipher out all of this overhead pressure that the devs dumped into the chart, because this is millions of dollars worth of volume. Like on this day it did I can't see it, but I think I want to say like $64 million, and next they did like $59 million. So a lot of people are stuck in this. They bought this and they're down massively. They bought like on the high end over here. And with $64 million worth of volume, they're just praying, like, please God, let this thing have one bounce so I could get out break even. So this is why I'm not too worried about Kitty. It's up 15%, but look at the market cap. I mean, look at the price, I should say. Because at one point, this token was the leading token. It was ahead of us. 1.4 million dollar market cap. Ours is at a like a 3.6. So we're still three even with the pullback. This is I already read that one. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be on tomorrow. I think so. Now, this token right here is essentially doing what we're doing, but they have more active members. UFD. Like, I like studying different narratives. I like studying different tokens and just seeing like how they operate. This right here, everything is 100% community based. Like, they didn't have a website. Somebody within the community, they created a website. Same thing with us. This person, he's a YouTuber. I think he has I don't know how many followers he have, but he's a YouTuber. Um, and he essentially was making this token as a joke against crypto, and that's why he called it unicorn fart dust. That's what he considered crypto was, and people saw it, after he created it, and the community was just formed around it. They have 40,000 holders, right? And a lot of time when it comes to Solana, they be sending like different, like small portions of the token to some, to different wallets and stuff like that. And when they do that, this is how sometimes they inflate the holder count. So that I'm not, but from what I see though on X, they do have a active holder base. Like when it comes to crypto, especially within the meme sector, and this is what most people have to realize, it is everything is predicated or dictated upon belief. Like, do you like as crazy as it sounds, like it boils down to just the basic. Like, do you really believe that this coin that you're in is going to be able to go to whatever market cap? And you heard me talk about this and even bring up Morad. Um, but any token, we could bring up any token like Shiba Inu. Why is the Shiba Inu fan base so strong, right? A lot of people within Shiba Inu truly believe, and you can't say nothing to them about Shiba Inu not going to a penny. That's what they have in their mindset. That's what they envision it going to. Hence why they're able to share that message like Shiba Inu a penny or the 1 cent dream. Like that's been going on since 2021 and it's still just growing louder and louder. Right? XPX, same thing. Belief. Everybody in within SPX believe what Murad is saying. They believe that they're gonna actually surpass, the SPY within the stock market. Red candles, green candles, whatever candles, they're showing up and they're coming in together as a community. Like the things that's repeating within crypto is the same thing that happened way back, even Doge. Like the reason why Doge, because for a while people were like Doge would never get to a penny. Like I remember people influenced me into selling my Doge because they were like, oh, it'll never get to a penny. Because I had asked that when I was a newbie, and they were laughing like, oh, you really think this is gonna get to a penny? And of course, they looked up the market cap. They're like, if it gets to a penny, the market cap would have to be this, and it's not surpassing it's not surpassing Ethereum. I think the market cap would have been higher than Ethereum had it got to a penny at that point. And me being a newbie that I believed them, you know, and I sold, but lo and behold, the Doge community believed that Doge would actually be able to get to $1 and then turn into a peg stable, because that was one of the things that they were talking about back then. So with that level of belief, a lot of people were believing it, and that's why I end up going to like what 70 cents and topping out there. But that was the belief system. So I say all that to say this: when it comes to Roaring Kitty, like, do people really believe? Like, I mean, I know some people within the community believe, but it's like getting everyone to buy into the idea of okay, Roaring Kitty can actually get to $1, above $1, right? Getting to above $1, that would put it at within the $1 billion market cap. Because if that was the case, like and I'm not even speaking to about you guys. I'm just saying like me watching the last whale that sold he sold $14,000. Like he sold $14,000 just to turn around and because essentially like this whole, I mean, not the whole come down, but majority of it for the past few days, it's just been him like just constantly just selling, like sell, 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 sell. He's just driving down the price. But I always think about like, dang, if this person truly believed into Roaring Kitty and they believe that this is going to billions of dollars worth of market cap, then why would I sell to buy another asset? You know, anything on alpha, I have no control over the alpha. Kitty is money grab. We have the real deal. Yeah, when it comes to the alpha, again, like I have no control over it. If I did, it would have been announced back in November. Yeah, even I saw somebody do this. It was another well. They sold Roar, and they bought Kekis because that was what Elon turned his profile picture into. They bought Kekis right around here in the 160 million dollar market cap, just to ride this bad boy all the way down. So they took their gains from Roaring Kitty, and this is what I like. I say this all the time. Whenever you're rotating funds, never want to rotate, from one asset to another, because what you're gonna essentially do is just exponentially lose your gains, and that's exactly what they did. Currently, right now, it's at a $31 million market cap. Even with the drawdown that we had, they still would have been up. But even with that, I mean, essentially, they're the one who caused the drawdown. I mean, I guess it wouldn't have been as big of a drawdown. But all of this to me, it is very, very interesting. Just following different wallet, just seeing human behavior at work, right? Seeing human behavior like, oh, I want something exciting to happen, and the exciting stuff that happened is them losing money. Like majority of people, they just want something to happen, whether it's making money or if they're losing money. They just want that thrill. And one good account that I like following, because these are legit stories, and again, I watch it time and time again, and I'm gonna get back to this in just a few. But I'm not sure if you guys follow Confessions. And the common story for Confessions is I made money and I end up losing it within the next 6 months. Because people get overconfident. Like, you make money on a token and you automatically think that, okay, I understand the market. Like, I figured it out. I got the cheat code. Oh, and this one too. And this is another thing that be getting people round trip. Like, it said bought a pump. This person said he bought a pump fund token, was up $330,000 at its peak. Didn't sell. Round trip. Still holding. Staying humble. I love the energy of crypto and believe this is how I make it. 2025 is going to be wild ride. That's another thing too. People don't understand like round trips. They think every asset is like a round trip, round trip, round trip. Like a round trip typically is like the asset goes up, it goes down, and it never returns. That's a round trip. You do have assets, however. Let's look at Turbo. Like if you bought Turbo right here, right? This is at the beginning. You bought it at the beginning. It had this big spike, then it came all the way back down. Like, if it came back down and never started going up again, then yes, you essentially round tripped it. But for tokens that's community based, and again, this is why I like to focus now. My focus is really on tokens that's community involvement versus dev involvement, or dev that has free tokens, because after it has this pump, eventually, you know, once the selling stop, eventually it's gonna have a pop. But Here it is. All-time highs at the time. Surpass all-time highs, goes parabolic, set a new top, then starts consolidating. Like imagine if you bought right here. Would you consider this a round trip? It comes back. No, it's just the natural progression of the chart. Like charts are not gonna go straight up forever. It's gonna eventually come down. So I think what most people don't understand is like the natural progression of charts, and they automatically assume like, oh, I round tripped it. Look, coming back down, and eventually it's gonna pop again, surpasses all time high once it finds a level of support. Like this right here, this is not a team. This is a team ran token. Notice the progression of it. You have this big pop, and followed by just it's making lower lows, lower lows. Versus you looking at a chart like this, it's a lot cleaner because there's really no manipulation. And what I mean by manipulation is like in order for them to keep their lights on, they have to pay. They have a big overhead, so they're gonna constantly sell down their token, unless if they could somehow generate more volume to be able to compensate that. Like just look at these charts. It's just you could tell like the difference between certain charts, like a good chart versus a bad chart. Ours, no manipulation on it. It essentially looks just like the other ones. And of course, once it finds support or once selling stops, then the next order of business is for it to start to go up. Simple is that. Feel like our holder count moved up very slowly when compared to other token coming out. Any ideas why that is? Visibility. Like a lot of these tokens that are coming out, they do pay KOL, so that would get them a little bit more attention. Um, but the downside to that, when they give these KOLs or they give these influencers token, the way that these influencers make money as far as with their service is by them having to sell down the chart. Because like I've been offered before, as far as like for me to promote a token. That's why I don't do the whole paid promotion joint, because if I'm talking about it, essentially I'm just gonna be selling on my holders because you're gonna buy into it. The only way I'm gonna get paid, for doing the service is by selling the token, and it just becomes a nasty loop. That's why, like for me, if I see an influencer talking about a token or something like that, if I do get into it, it's just gonna be a day trade. I'm not nothing that I'm looking to hold long term. Because going even back to this Nero, like this is why the chart looks this way. Like all the big influence you had, what's his name? Jake. Uh you had Austin. You had all these big influencers. This is what they're talking about. Nero, 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 Nero. I haven't heard them talk about Nero once, in the last 6 or 7 months. Essentially, they got paid to do the service, and once they're done with the service, they sold, and whoever's left holding the bag, they're just holding the bag. And this is what I'm saying. Like a lot of people don't really understand the game that or the token that they're invested into. They'll invest in a token like this. I remember this one guy, he swear up and down like, random arts, I found me the next what you call him. He was talking about Bone. Like, yeah, this is gonna be the next I'm up X amount. And I'm like, well, I mean, if you're up, congrats. Like, make sure you lock in profits though. But essentially what you've seen is just a slow bleed. Like, let me pull up another one. This was another one that was promoted by influencers. And I'm not saying because the influencer promoted that it's automatically just gonna go to the crapper, but a lot of them, they talk about it few weeks, then after they finish talking about it, that's pretty much it. Look at this. Same thing with this. Like the chart does not look natural. Like they got 54,000 holders. 54,000 holders, but whoever's running this project, they have overhead and it's going to constantly keep draining, and you're going to see it. Unless if they're able to get more volume, because volume could fix anything at the end of the day. That's one. Um, I'm trying to think of another token that was like heavy promoted. I remember Bow, or I think it was Bow. Damn, I'm trying to think of the other token that was heavily promoted. Oh, this one was just recently, or Acid. I think your pop was talking about that one. And again, I saw, and the reason why I'm able to see this, yeah, Toad right here, because there's somebody, again, they sold their roar, and I seen, they're shuffling their token, the profits from roar. I gotta find that wallet because they were down massive. I'm talking about like they bought in over here and they just kept dip buying it, just kept dip buying it, kept dip buying it. I'm just sitting there just looking like, yo, you're buying a falling knife, you know? Because after the promotion is done, this is what you get. I think the latest one I seen your pop talk about Miss. Yeah, there it is right here. So this is why it's very, very important to know what you own. So hopefully that answers your answer the question as far as like why holder count goes up really fast. Like for us, everything is natural. We ain't paying nobody because it is gonna be one big pump and dump. Can you please explain really quick what will all the bone that were acquired help roar with? Thanks. Yeah, so essentially, the bone. So let me get to roar right here. So right now, this is our current liquidity pool. Let's see where it's at. Um, okay, here it is right here. So in our liquidity pool, we have 43 Ethereum and we have 37 million Roar. So they're essentially paired together into a pool. So anytime somebody's looking to buy, they'll, this is what's happening in the background. So they'll take their Ethereum, it goes into the pool, get added to the pool, and what's going to end up happening is the roar is going to get kicked back out to them. So it's like an exchange, right? So our price of Roaring Kitty is heavily depending on what Ethereum does. So if Ethereum starts to skyrocket and let's say go to $10,000, then it's gonna automatically drag our price up because our currency, as we would, for lack of better words, is Ethereum. So Ethereum does well, our token's gonna do well. So the reason why we're trying to get as much bone as possible is now we want our underlying asset or the backing or our currency to be bone. So we're still going to have the Ethereum one, but we're going to also have another pool for bone. Now, the thing with bone, many believe, including me, let me pull up bone. Bone is currently at 37 cents, if I'm not mistaken, right? So if bone reaches $10, very, very conservative number. And after doing the math behind it, that would, without any buys, without any sells, it would automatically raise our price. I think last time I checked, it was around like 33 cents. So it would raise the price of Roaring Kitty to 33 cents. And the reason why, okay, so right now we have like 20,000 bone, right? So we got 20,000 bone and it's at 36 cents. So that's roughly $7,200 in a liquidity pool. So if the price of bone rises to $10, instead of having a $7,200 liquidity pool, bone rises to $10. Now our liquidity pool is, at least on the bone side, is 200,000. And usually with the liquidity pool, it's like double the amount. So if it's like 7,200, you multiply that by two, so it'll be like 4,000, 4,400, 14,400. I'm getting sleep here. 14,400. So that would be the dollar amount that's in that pool that could get abstracted. So bone gets to $10, then you're looking at a $400,000 liquidity pool. So that's how pricing. I mean, I there's a video that I made. I go even a little bit more in depth into that, talking about liquidity pools. Um, but yeah, it pretty much breaks it down. So so hopefully that answers that question. I know I said I was gonna be on for 30 minutes. Let me do this quick breakdown. I'm gonna end up ending the stream. But yeah, but this is what people are thinking. They're thinking Moss based upon this little was it this? I seen someone, well, let me, there was something that that spelled out Moss. I saw that theory. Then also with the song "I'll Wait for You" or "I'm Coming Back" or something like that. Saw that theory as well too. So there's different stuff. There's definitely different stuff that that's currently being said, and we will see though. We will see how it pans out tomorrow. The only downside too is like every time that, well, not every time, but many time that whenever he comes back, right, the crypto market tend to go start to go down because right now I think Bitcoin's at 101 or something like that. Or there it is right here. Oh, this person saying like the U. I will wait for you. It said, if it takes forever, I'll wait for you. And your heart will leave what is in my heart, I know. But forevermore, I'll wait for you. The clock will tick away the hours one by one, and then the time will come when all the waiting's done. The time when return will find me here, fine. Um, so again, I mean, there's somebody said AMC. I mean, there's so many different theories when it comes to this. I like the fact that the Roaring Kitty community really, came strong onto this. Like this is awesome right here from Crazy Monkey with 1700 impression, 879, 1400, 1900. Like this is the type of stuff that we definitely need to happen. I think it's the name of the dog. Yeah, and that's the point that I was making too. It said bone getting to $10 seem low. Yes, that's the crazy part. With a low bone getting to $10 with the liquidity pool with Roaring Kitty. Roaring Kitty's at 33 cents. I think Bone's gonna be at $100 plus. So $100 plus, you're looking at a Roaring Kitty potentially being above $3, guys. Like that's the crazy part that a lot of people don't see. Let me just make sure my math is correctly because I so currently right now we have 20,000. So that's 7,200. All right, so I gotta do what is 72? How much $7,200 would get me worth of roar? All right, so 1.9 million roar, right? So just remember that 1.9 million roar. Um, Divided by yeah, it would be like 2 million. Okay, never mind. So it'd be 96 cents. So Roaring Kitty, I mean, Bone gets $200. We're looking at a 96 cents Roaring Kitty. And this is based upon no buys, no sells. The fact that we just paired a liquidity on Shibarium with Bone, Roaring Kitty, one Roaring Kitty would be worth 96 cents. So now imagine buys coming in. $3, guys, like above $3. And now with the new liquidity pool that we're gonna do, that's gonna also burn. It's gonna burn roar. Yes. So the question is, are we going to be able to bridge our roar from our ETH wallet to Shibarium if we want? That is correct. We're gonna be able to do that once we get there. So it's gonna balance it out. So there's not gonna be any new roar that's being made. So it's just gonna be balanced. So if let's say if 500 million roars on Ethereum, then automatically there's only going to be 500 million roar on Shibarium. Or if there's 600 million roar on Shibarium, then there's only going to be 400 million onto Ethereum. So it's going to balance out to be that 1 billion. But then if we start burning tokens, of course, it's going to be balanced out from how much is in supply. Bone at $10, liquidity at 400 seem pretty low. That's my fear in the bull run. It's happening. How do I know to take profit without getting hit by price impact? See, you don't. People think that you take profit based upon liquidity. You don't take profit based upon liquidity. I mean, if you take anybody taking profit on liquidity, you're gonna get hit with price impact no matter what. So that's not what you take profit on. You take profit based upon volume. The volume is what's gonna get you. Because look, Shiba Inu is at $11 billion market cap. Liquidity for it is $6.5 billion. Like many people think, like, oh, the market cap is 11 billion. We should be able to have $11 billion worth of liquidity. No, that's not what happened. People take profit on Shiba Inu based upon volume. So there's going to be pockets and days where Shiba Inu does over $1 billion worth of volume. And on those days is the time that you're gonna, if you had a few $1 million, um, is the time for you to be able to take profit out. But yeah, just always think about volume. Like never try to be more than I mean, just, at least for me, um, with anything, I don't try to be more than 5% of the volume. And hopefully too, during Shibarium's liquidity event, we get selected as one of the tokens that could get treat reward. And if that happens, that also adds more liquidity for Roaring Kitty. And in order for them to add liquidity for Roaring Kitty, they're gonna have to go to the open market and buy Roar on the open market, which would cause more buying pressure as well as having additional liquidity. Like when Shibarium really starts popping off, like I don't think people realize the madness, that the sheep army is able to do. Like Shibarium becomes a hot chain. There's already over 1 million people or 1 million wallet holders that's a part of Shiba Inu. And even if you just look at it from just the bone standpoint, there's close to 100,000 people just on the bone side that's like stupidly pro bone, you know what I mean? And just getting a small percentage of those people jumping onto Roaring Kitty as Shibari pop off would make a huge impact onto Roar. Like just a few, I always tell people this, like a few $100s worth of volume will put us back to our all time highs. Like it really doesn't take much for us to being able to just start flying. Like if we had the support, kind of like how the one whale is very supportive of GameStop on ETH, which anytime GameStop on ETH goes down, he is constantly buying the dip. Like he owns, I think, what, like $2 or $3 million. So let's go to the wallet real quick. I think he's like the number one whale on them. Yeah, so he owns like $3.7 million. And anytime like uh GME on ETH starting to dip in, like he steps in and just really support it. Thank you. You just made me feel a lot better. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, and I mean that's a very good question because that was a lot of people's concern too for Sheeb in the early days. They were like, yeah, if this things get up here, like how we're gonna really cash out, and it just with pockets and also future listings. Like whenever we start making noise, we're gonna be able to get some listings. Seems like the whole crypto market is downtrend. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like, yo, why does it have to go down as soon as Keith Gill, make a post? Seen Bitcoin, it's like going hovering back to 100K. It's at 102, but still though, it's still right around that area. It's that's one thing that I want to see Bitcoin really do. I want to see Bitcoin get out from that stalling period that it's in right now. It's been what, like maybe like 6 weeks since it's been in a stall. Let's see here. In fact, I could have just pulled it right here. Let's look at Bitty Coin. Change it to the weekly. Yeah, so it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks. It attempted to have a breakout, so it's failing. Next week will start on the 27th. So hopefully this doesn't close down too far, because if it closes a little closer to the top right here, then maybe we see a breakout next week. And once we see the breakout, it's just going to be like straight green candles on the way up. And that would be the really start the excitement within the market. Someone just bought some Roar. Hey, I mean, Roaring Kitty is the token that, I mean, I truly believe that, and it's always contingent upon the community. Like it is, it you have a rare opportunity when it comes to Roaring Kitty of really defining where this token actually goes. Like a lot of time, I seen somebody post today. They were like, "Nobody's gonna save you." This is exactly the same thing I've been saying. I've been saying like, there's nobody. If you're putting your faith into a team, you're putting your faith into a developer that's going to, essentially make you rich. Like at the end of the day, the developer's gonna do whatever they feel right is for them. Um, and that's the cold truth about anything. Shiba Inu, it's 100% decentralized. You have people who are invested into Shiba Inu that is working, like Shy, um, Cal, and his team. But essentially though, Shiba Inu is decentralized. Like the whole ecosystem is decentralized. Like a lot of people get mad at them, and I'm like, why y'all get mad at them? Because they're just working for what they feel like is right, essentially for them. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. Like someone right now could legit come, into Roaring Kitty, and they could have a different vision for Roaring Kitty being on to Solana, and they start building for Solana or any place else, and they start creating their own community, but it's still for the benefit of Roaring Kitty. Like, are they wrong if they start doing that? And I'll say the answer to that is no, because this token, no one owns it. You know what I mean? Like it is a community. It could go any direction based upon where the community wants to take it. Same thing with Shiba Inu, same thing with Bone. Like it is up to the community. What they're doing, they're adding value to it, but based upon what they feel is right. Like I always tell people, like if you think it should go a different direction, then you could lead up an army to essentially do the same thing. So this is why I'm bullish on Sheeb and the whole ecosystem because it is decentralized. Like the tokens that I really made like big bank off of, they all had one thing in common, and it was decentralization. Shiba Inu, Bitcoin. I mean, I did make money on some team tokens, but not as big as the ones that's not controlled by anyone. And time in and time out, like I had to go back and just look at all my different trades, look at all my different winning trades. And this is why it's very important, and I recommend that you guys do the same thing too, is track your trades. Because if you know what you're winning on and what you're losing on, all you have to do is just cut out the losers and focus on what actually made you money. Because these, like, people think crypto is random. Like, a lot of the stuff is not random. Like, you may not know what's going on in the background, but it's definitely not random. So, and that was the biggest haha moment that I came to the realization. And it took me, what, 6, 7 years just to be able to just formulate that. Oh my God, if I just focus in on the tokens that's decentralized, where the outcome of the result that I'm looking for is if a community is involved into it. And that was the big light bulb moment. I was like, holy crap. Like, no wonder why I'm up so much on Roaring Kitty. No wonder why I made so much on Shiba Inu. No wonder why Doge went up. And I just started putting the pieces together into why these tokens work. Like, like this is the question that I like asking. Like, why is Turbo successful but XYZ token is not successful? Like, what's the difference? And putting the pieces together, like, oh, okay, so this is what they're about. Oh, this is how they're formulated. Oh, okay. Now let's take a look at Shiba Inu. Why is Shiba Inu successful versus why Kishu Inu is not as successful? It's like, oh, okay. Let me put that piece together as well too. Then everything really just started lining up. It was like the way a token is structured is very, very crucial to its success. Things that are formed organically succeed. And each checkbox that I looked at for successful tokens, it all lines up with Roaring Kitty. It all lines up. Because again, can't tell me Roaring Kitty is not successful because this came from a 20K market cap, organically formed. Community at the time was what, 100 maybe, and that was from old holders who got rugged back here. And from the process of time, we built. Community came together, got listings, got Dex tools, Dex screener, and now we're going to be on Shibarium, and we also have what, 20,000 bone that's going to go into what, when it's all said and done, it's going to be more than that. But I'm just saying, as of right now, like 20,000 bone. So this is why, like, when people ask, like, man, Random Marks, that's all you talk about, just Roaring Kitty now. That's all. Yes, because I'm cutting away the noise, the losers, and just focusing in on what actually have shown me proven results. But yeah, so definitely recommend you guys tracking your trades. We actually just oh, big shout out to Red Bull. Red Bull just sent in 500 ETH for the GameStop. Like, this concept right here from Mint Club, this is like a stupidly underrated um utility. Looks like some people started buying. Oh no, it's actually still down. $19,000 market cap. So this token, so this is what we're doing right now. So we're gonna end up having liquidity for this token. It's called GME. Now, GME, only way that people are gonna be able to buy GME is by having Roaring Kitty. But instead of it just being on Mint Club, it's going to also be on Uniswap. So now it's going to have the capability of popping up over here. If people type in GME, guess what token is going to be able to pop up? Our token, right? So right now, if you type in GME, you're just going to find all these other ones. GME on ETH, on Sol. You know, these are the ones that's popping up. Not ours. But once we create the liquidity pool, it's going to pop up. So as that starts going up and people buy and sell it, then what you're going to end up seeing is both tokens are going to become deflationary. So with that being deflationary, it's going to make Roaring Kitty scarce. It's going to make GME scarce. And even right now for this GME token, and I actually bought more. Because I'm actually trying to get as much as possible for this as well too. Because Roaring Kitty does well, this is gonna automatically do well as well. So this is like probably one of the easiest no-brainer type of play. And not only that, it also has its own social as well too. But the best thing about it, the only way that people, because if this is going parabolic, the only way it's almost like it's definitely, it's Roaring Kitty on steroids because of what happens in the background. if this is going parabolic and the token liquidity is roar, so as people buy roar to try to buy this token, it automatically boosts this token up. Then once they buy the token, so they swap their ETH to buy roar, then this caused GME to go up. By the time they get their roar to buy this GME token, it's gonna make it go up even more. So it's definitely, like I said, it's the steroids. Um, but yeah, I need to buy. Still need to buy some more. But definitely shout out to Red Bull for that donation to the marketing wallet. So we're gonna be able to have that set up tonight. So if GameStop start going crazy tomorrow and people catch wind of this, then essentially it's gonna be good for both tokens. And plus, you could also do a little arbitrage trading as well too, because it might be this price on Mint Club, but when you go on Uniswap, it's a different price. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna call it quits for tonight. Um, if I'm not too busy, I may go live again tomorrow, or at least have the charts playing um, on the X account. But hopefully, you guys enjoy your night. Be blessed.